Hello everyone, welcome to my channel again. Maybe some of you have noticed that last week I didn't upload anything because now slowly come to the stage that I don't know what to shoot anymore. So before I come up with other content, this week I'm going to share something with you which I should have done actually maybe 3 years ago. So that's why this week I'm going to boost my memory back to talk about the culture shock I have confronted with when I first time arrived in Austria. But actually 3 years ago it wasn't the first time I have been to Austria. In 2011 I have visited Austria one time already. But of course the culture shock comes when you really live in this country and get in touch with the people. Actually before I moved to Austria I have been traveled to some European countries and also Asian countries. But still I'm very fascinated about the culture in each country. So when I moved to Austria, I paid really much attention about the things which shocked me. When you first confront with a new culture, it's like get to know somebody new. So it's kind of romantic to remember the first moment you meet this country, you meet this culture. I'm going to introduce you the top 10, maybe top 10 or just the 10 I still remembered, the culture shock moments I have confronted with in Austria. First of all, of course, the obsessed to sunshine and so enjoy to being tanned. This is unbelievable for an Asian because in our culture, fair skin is more appreciated. But here in Austria, it looks like, especially now it's winter, it's very interesting to see people in winter but still sitting outdoor in the sun. Actually, it is maybe 0 degrees. And the second thing is making cross instead of check mark when they want to choose something. So that happens actually when I went to the visa office in Austria or when I need to fill out some formula. I always see you make a cross in front of the things you have chosen. For our culture in China, for us this is something very strange because when we choose something we always make a check mark instead of make a cross. Cross for us means like false. So it means you miss something, maybe you will make a cross. Here in Austria you will kiss both cheeks when you greet somebody, but in China of course we won't do the kissing part. If it's a really close friend and so on, sometimes we may hug, and sometimes I still don't know which side should come to first. So sometimes it's a little bit traffic jam when you see somebody and you're going to kiss their cheeks. Here in Austria or maybe in the German-speaking region, most of the people will eat cold food twice a day, which is unbelievable for me because for me in China I can cook 3 times a day. But here it looks like the cold dishes or something like sandwiches, bread, or in German Jause. And for me I cannot bear 3 times or twice per day eating cold food. I still have the question right now is when should I put my surname in the front and when should I put it in the last? Because it can happen in both cases. And another funny thing is sometimes the people here will type their surname in capital letter. So if you see a name, the one with capital letter, it must be the surname. It is clear that in Austria people speak Austrian German and the official language is German. But of course when I first came here, I didn't speak any German. So in the first week I have some confusion with the language because I would think German is really a funny language. Many words sound the same. When the native speakers speak their mother tongue, sometimes they're quite lazy in pronunciation. So sometimes they don't pronounce so clearly the words. So for example, when I went to a restaurant, I always hear something like when the waiter comes, they will ask you, 多少? So, and then after you pay the bill, they will say, 多少? And when you leave the restaurant, they will say, 多少? So for me, it sounds totally the same. It took me a long time until I know these 3 words are actually different. You talk on the phone in Austria, or I think it's the same in other German-speaking countries. When they pick up the phone, they will say their last name instead of saying hello. The first time when I called somebody and they just pick up the phone and say their last name and nothing else. I was totally shocked because in China we will first say hi, or no, not hi, we say wei on the phone when you pick it up and then start to talk about stuff. But here it's like you pick up the phone and just the last name. Here the working time I mentioned is normally when a company start working, or some shops like supermarkets. So what I found it different is in China our shops or companies open relatively late. 9 in the morning is a normal starting point for working hour, or even 10 or 11 that happens. But in Austria it can start from 7 in the morning, but they close very early. And in China this is of course totally different. We open late and also close late. But in Austria they open early and also close early. What's so special about the gyms is they open till midnight or even 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. Hey, come on, your supermarkets opened about 7 in the morning and till 6 in the evening. But the gyms can open from 6 in the morning to 2 in the morning. Here I give you a tip. When you get up in the middle of the night and went out in the cities in Austria, you will find a couple of things are still open. Some of the pharmacies. Second, of course, gasoline station and the shops there, and you can find nearly everything in the gasoline shop. Third thing, clubs and bars. And the fourth thing, gyms. If you're lucky, there are some Turkish kebab shops that are still open. Last but not least, this part fascinated me the most, which is the rubbish recycling system in Austria. About rubbish recycling is actually quite strict because you have to separate your rubbish into different categories. For example, paper, plastic, transparent glasses, colored glasses, organic rubbish. I wanted to say recycling. I found it very nice because in China actually we didn't care so much about the rubbish recycling or rubbish separation. Don't really have the concept of separating the rubbish and so on. Sometimes in China you will see 2 rubbish cans. One is written the recycle rubbish, the other one is the rubbish cannot be recycled. But when you see the rubbish truck, you will see actually they mix everything back. Here's the 10 most shocking things I have confronted with when I first came to Austria. If you are also foreigner lives in Austria like me and you found a lot of things in Austria which is shocking for you or fascinating for you, please leave the comments down there. If you like my video, please give a thumb up and share it with your friends. And yeah, hopefully I will see you next week. Bye bye.